All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're demystifying this strict, and I mean strict, regulatory engine behind companies not distributing profits, or PNDs, under Nepal's Companies Act 2063. If you run a nonprofit, you already know the legal landscape can be pretty dense, right? Well, today, we're putting on our auditor hats, we are going to build your ultimate statutory audit checklist, and we'll be focusing heavily on those tricky administrative expense caps and the exact financial reporting compliance you absolutely have to master to keep your doors open.
So here's our compliance roadmap for today. First, we'll define nonprofit companies. Second, pre-registration and documentation. Third, initial post-registration steps. Fourth, financial reporting and audits. And finally, expense caps and dissolution. Let's get to it.
Section 1. Defining nonprofit companies. Okay, so under Chapter 19 of the Companies Act, specifically Sections 166 and 167, a PND operates with an absolute, hardline prohibition against distributing any profits, dividends, or bonuses to its members. The money literally stays locked inside to serve the mission. Now, if you're an auditor, this is rule number 1, right? Any leak of capital back to the founders is an immediate, glaring red flag. And listen, your constitutional documents, they can't just be some vague list of good intentions. They have to explicitly restrict your company's objectives to 5 very specific categories: scientific, academic, social, benevolent, or public utility. If an auditor comes in, reviews your expenses, and finds they don't map directly to one of these 5 specific lanes, well, your compliance is totally compromised.
Moving on to Section 2, pre-registration and documentation. To even get off the ground, your paper trail has to be absolutely flawless. First up, you need a minimum of 5 promoters. Then you've got to reserve a name through the OCR's portal and make sure you intentionally drop any limited suffix. After that, you draft 2 copies of your memorandum and articles of association. Oh, and if you're in a regulated sector, like health or education, you'll need prior ministry approvals too. Keep all these safe because they are the very first things your statutory auditor will ask to see. Now, unlike your standard private companies, a nonprofit doesn't actually have share capital, so no one is out there buying stock. Instead, the whole financial structure operates on what's called a guarantee. This means the members formally pledge to contribute a specific, pre-agreed amount if the company ever winds up. And as an auditor, you better believe this guarantee amount is a crucial detail that needs to be tracked perfectly in your financial books. So to finalize this whole setup blueprint, you submit your Schedule 1 application alongside the notarized IDs of your promoters. You also need hard, verifiable proof of your registered physical office. Something like a rental agreement works perfectly. Get all of these right, and boom, the OCR issues your company registration certificate.
Section 3. Initial post-registration steps. But securing that certificate, that's really just the warm-up. You can't start moving money around just yet. First, you must immediately register at the Inland Revenue Department to get your PAN. Next, you have to open a corporate bank account strictly in the company's name. Never, ever a personal account. And this is crucial. If you actually plan to operate as an NGO and receive foreign grants, getting affiliated with the Social Welfare Council isn't just a suggestion, it's a hard legal requirement.
Section 4, financial reporting and audits. Okay, pay attention because this is the absolute core of your audit checklist. Your financial reporting is tied directly to the Nepali fiscal year, which ends in Asad. Now, once Asad concludes, the clock immediately starts ticking. You have exactly 6 months to hold your annual general meeting. And at this AGM, you're not just, casually reviewing the year. You are legally required to officially appoint the auditor who is going to conduct your statutory financial audit. Then, once your AGM wraps up and your financial statements are fully audited, you enter this highly restrictive 30-day window. Within those 30 days, you must file your annual returns, and that includes the audited financials and the auditor's report directly to the OCR. Honestly, missing this 30-day deadline is not just some minor clerical error. It's a severe violation of the Companies Act that can trigger massive fines or worse, completely threaten your operational status. And finally, Section 5, expense caps and dissolution. Now, here is a massive constraint that catches so many nonprofits completely off guard during their very first audit. Your total administrative expenses are legally capped at a maximum of 25%. Yes, just 25%, and that includes salaries, office rent, any perks, and meeting allowances. The remaining 75% absolutely must be deployed directly toward your core objectives.
Let me tell you, your auditor is going to scrutinize this ratio down to the very last rupee. If you're top-heavy on admin, you're totally out of compliance.
So you might be wondering, with administrative caps that tight, how on earth do you sustain operations? Well, the Companies Act does offer a bit of a lifeline here. You are legally permitted to collect membership fees. This is 100% compliant, provided, and this is a big provided, that these incoming funds are meticulously recorded in your books and used to directly fuel those core objectives we just talked about.
Let's fast forward to the end of a company's life cycle for a second. There is this really common assumption out there that if a nonprofit liquidates, the founders can just, sell off the desks, empty out the bank accounts, and take their initial money right back. But the strict legal reality? Absolutely not. Under the Companies Act, your assets can literally never be divided among the members. They must revert completely to the government of Nepal, or they have to be transferred to another nonprofit that shares similar objectives.
So, knowing that your assets, your capital, and honestly, your years of hard effort ultimately serve a public legacy, you've got to ask yourself this. Is your current audit checklist really rigorous enough to survive OCR scrutiny? Are you diligently tracking that tricky 25% admin cap? Look, staying compliant under the Companies Act 2063 isn't just about avoiding some fines. It's about ensuring your mission actually outlasts you. So review your books today. Is your legacy legally bulletproof?